Mohandas Karamchand, popularly known as Mahatma Gandhi, was a great Indian leader, popularly known for his ideals, beliefs, as well as rules. And his thoughts include Gandhism as well as Satyagraha. The basic meaning and nature of Gandhism include the body of ideas and ideals that Mahatma Gandhi practiced and preached, and these are the principles of political, economic, social, educational, spiritual, nutritional, and ecological. In all Gandhian ideas, one finds unity of theme. It means all ideas and ideals of Gandhism is based on moral and ethical principles such as truth, non-violence, and purity of ends and means. The basic principles of Gandhism includes a decentralized form of government. Gandhism was against centralization. Gandhiji believed that centralization of authority would lead to misuse of authority and exploitation of the people. Hence, Gandhism was against monarchy as well as parliamentary form of government and strong central government. He believed in decentralized economy. It means that villages based on economy, production and distribution must be decentralized. Gandhism against large-scale industrialization and capitalism. Gandhism says that the economy of autonomous villages should be based on cottage industries such as poultry, cloth weaving, carpentry, and the basic production as well as consumption of the commodities produced by these cottage industries would occur in the same locality. To move onwards, we have to talk on Gandhism as well as property. Simply, he was believing that simple life and minimum needs. Gandhism emphasized the importance of a small and simple living and limited needs. On one hand, the ideology recognizes that moral development is not possible if basic needs are not met. On the other hand, the ideology is against the accumulation of unnecessary wealth and luxuries. He also believed that poverty leads to crime. Similarly, possessing excessive money also hinders moral and spiritual development. In that sense, trusteeship was most important. What is trusteeship? An individual must possess that amount of wealth that is essential to him. Excess property must be sacrificed for the society. Gandhi promoted the concept of trusteeship of property to meet the economic challenges. According to Gandhi, wealth is a social product. It is the contribution from many. The entire society has claims on it. The owners of property, whether they are the capitalists or landlords, must recognize this claim. They must hold property as a trustee on behalf of the many. The next principle is spiritualism of politics. Gandhi was a supporter of value-based politics. Gandhism did not favor the separation of morality from politics and statecraft. All political activities and the goal of politics should be for securing the justice, good and moral. Gandhism educates that all political activities, political leaders, and political institutions should function in an ethical manner. Their ends and means should be good and pure. The next principle is Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya is an attitude which leads an individual to think those thoughts, perform those actions, speak those words which result in the upliftment of all mankind. Sarvodaya seeks to do good to all and harm to none. Live for the sake of others. It believes that the good of all can be achieved through the good of each. Sarvodaya is a type of socialism which emphasizes the need for the development of the community as a whole, rather than the rise of the individual at the cost of the community. The most important part in Gandhism is Swadeshi movement as well as Swadeshi thought. What is Swadeshi thought? Swadeshi thought identified the reason why the Britain were in India was their wealth. Once the source of Indian wealth was cut off, the British would leave India. Hence, The Swadeshi movement urged Indians not to purchase foreign goods. Indians were urged to wear only khadi that had been spun at home with cotton that had been produced from the Indian peasant. Last but not the least, ahimsa and truth. Ahimsa basically means real existence, non-violence. To achieve truth, real existence means should be non-violent. It prefers a three-fold form of ahimsa. Non-violence of thought means good intention. Non-violence of speech means not to abuse and hurt. Non-violence of deed, I mean to say, avoiding injury. The second thought includes Satyagraha. When Mohandas Gandhi was born in 1869, India was a colony of the British Empire. The Gandhi family lived in a religion of Hinduism in the region of India that had not been greatly influenced by Western culture. People of that region followed the same customs and traditions as their ancestors had for generations. The life of young Mohandas centered on his mother, who took the streets in protest of British policies and remained peaceful and non-violent even when the British attacked them with lathis and guns. Literally, Satya means truth and Agraha means force. Therefore, Satyagraha means the force born of truth, non-violence, and soul force. When man believes that he is on the side of what is true and right, he gains the courage and strength to overcome the most difficult of challenges on the basis of truth alone. Facing apartheid and racial discrimination both at home and in Africa, Frantz Fanon also wrote on colonial identity as in his most valued as well as celebrated book, Black Skin, White Masks. Generally, Indians quietly accepted discrimination because of skin color, a system that subjected them to insult and injustices. Gandhi believed that laws enacting discrimination should be challenged. Therefore, he became actively involved in organized opposition to the movement. The leadership of Gandhi was so important to the Indian people in him to stay. He was an active voice against racial discrimination and apartheid. Gandhi decided to name the protest Satyagraha, which means the force contained in truth and love, or non-violent resistance. The philosophy of Satyagraha required that a person who decided to bear a law considered unjust must accept the consequences of that decision. As expected, the movement met with resistance from the government. Later on, when he came to India, he was an active voice against the British Raj at that time. British repression of Indian civil rights increased in India after World War I, giving rise to a non-violent resistance campaign that stopped activity in cities and villages throughout the country. The initial success of the resistance movement started the British. However, their success was followed by a long struggle marked by violence and setbacks. In 1920, Gandhi was brought to trial and found guilty of inciting disobedience to British laws. The evidence used against him were 3 articles published in his newspaper, Young India. He accepted his jail sentence calmly in the belief that he should go to jail for breaking an unjust law. During Gandhi's imprisonment, the non-violent resistance movement has halted. Still, a demand was growing for unconditional self-rule. At the age of 61, Gandhi led a 200-mile march that lasted 24 days and gained worldwide attention. The march ended at the sea-coast village of Dandi. There, Gandhi and his followers waded into the water and picked up some of the salt that had washed ashore. In this statement to the press, he urged Indians to begin manufacturing their own salt, a practice that he knew would be illegal in addition he urged them to prepare themselves for non-violent resistance to harassment from the police. The Indians began their illegal manufacture of salt, inciting mass arrests, police brutality, and generally the protests were restrained and non-violent. Gandhi made plans to lead a raid on government salt mine. Types of Satyagraha include civil disobedience, non-cooperation, hartals, picketing, boycott, hijrat, and fasting. To conclude, India, under the dynamic leadership of Gandhiji, won the non-violent battle for her independence. Satyagraha is a technique which can be adopted by the people to resist unjust laws in a democratic system. In conclusion, Satyagraha was a powerful and innovative philosophy and method that played a vital role in India's struggle for independence.